for you. Thanks.
Question, so if you're talking to a host, a younger host, and she says, I don't have anyone's address.
Okay.
So how do you approach that so that you can get the address? You know, what's the word choice? So that I know what you're gonna say, but how do you handle that?
Okay, and I'll just say you need to send them an email or a text asking for their information, because I'm gonna need to have it in the computer for warranty purposes. And when we close the show, it'll go a lot faster if I don't have to input all that information. So I need it ahead of time, so I can just click on their name, put in their order, and the sale will
That's great.
super
I haven't heard
fast.
that one.
You haven't heard that one?
No.
And if
that's
anybody
good.
gives you a hard time with the privacy of people's addresses and emails and everything, and just say, the Pampered Chef has devised this program so that your warranty is with them, not the consultant, okay?
That's good.
Because you will be registered, your products will be registered with them, so if a consultant comes or goes or moves out of state, it's not gonna be that you can't find them and you don't have your receipt. It's gonna be actually recorded with the Pampered Chef, and they're doing it by email so that we can get a hold of you if there's a product issue in any way, so we don't have to try and find your consultant and then they have to try and find you. It's all done and recorded through the Pampered Chef, and that's their warranty process. So if you want your products to have warranty, I have to do it this way.
I know this answer because you've shared it before, but I think it would be good for everyone to hear is when you ask for your 40, because I know you book out further than even the next couple of weeks, how could you share with everybody what you do to get that? Because I know you don't wait until their show.
No, not at all. I let everybody know that I want them to go home and make their list, even if the show is 2 months out, because that solidifies the date on my calendar. And until I have that mailing labels, if I don't get that, that means that you're not sure of having that show. So I probably will call you and say, can I give this date away? So the fact that they've got their date and all they need to do is get on it, because you want it to do it too and then they're excited, you know. And if they don't send it to me in the first week, I remind them again and say, you know, I really need those mailing labels so I can put this in ink on my calendar. I also let them know that when they pick a date, and I put on the little white host envelope, I'll say, you know, I'll put the date really big on the outside, and I put 48 hours and circle it. And I say, you have 48 hours to call me and change this date if it doesn't, you know, mesh with something you have at home, or maybe, almost everybody's got everything on their phones now, date-wise, but if something comes up that you didn't know your husband had or whatever, or your wife had, then you have 48 hours to call me and you'll still get, I give them a full-size cookbook at their show for booking with me tonight and picking out, and so it's the one of their choice, and I put it on their order, and it's just a consultant gift. They really like that. They really like that.
You can do the night of the show.
The night of the show, the night the show is held. I'm also using the Stealing Hearts or the Ticket Game. I go back and forth depending on the group, because I try not to do the same thing with the same group, okay? But I'm using the envelopes of what someone makes, making once a week, twice a week, and then career. And I put a $5,000 there, and go to my website, it's all in there.
Okay.
You can just print it out. You guys use that website like crazy. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, you know, there's so much training today that it's overwhelming. So what I encourage you to do is to look and analyze your business. What do I need to improve on? What's really great? I'm really doing great with that. What do I need to improve on? Is it host coaching? Is my party average low? You know, am I getting enough bookings? And quite honestly, it all comes back to party average. I mean, host coaching. Host coaching is absolutely the vertebrae of our business. It's the spinal cord. Because when you do it well, everything else happens. When you do it lousy or don't get to it, you're going to have a lousy party, lousy sales, lousy bookings, and lousy recruit leads, you know. And it really is a three-part business, because the sales are for today, the bookings are for tomorrow, and then the recruit leads are for your future. And like I said earlier, by my 11th year, I was earning $500,000 a year.
By your 11th year,
by my 11th year.
$500,000.
I was earning
And you're
500.
38 years old.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's so cool. That's all there for you guys. There isn't anything but you to stop it.
I can't even imagine.
What's it?
I said I can't even imagine that. It's like you made it up. $500,000.
My highest check was 2 years November, $97,000 for 1 month.
1 month.
Woo! Isn't that exciting?
Do you genuinely, I think the answer is yes, but anyone who is driven and willing to do the 2 shows a month and willing to take instruction, can we do this?
Absolutely. And the reason I say absolutely is because when you think about the fact that there's about 55 to 60,000 of us working, but really only 20% work on a consistent basis,
Absolutely.
that brings it down to 12,000 people are working on a consistent basis, which means once to twice a week in this whole country. And any seminar that you go to that says that there's under 100,000 people, it's considered a ground floor opportunity. We have so far to grow, you guys. It's crazy. There are millions upon millions upon millions of homes that we need to fill with Pampered Chef product. And now we're going into second generations, aren't we? She said she saw me in the catalog when she was a little girl.
Real quick story. You probably don't remember it, but I met Nancy Joe probably 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I'm under Nora Striner. In
Okay, sure.
So we met at her house, but I was really excited. I was getting to meet the Nancy Joe, right? I'm bubbly around the house, you know, I can't wait. I'm telling my husband, he's like, what's the big deal? It's a meeting, you know? And I'm like, but I get to meet Nancy Joe. And he was so, we had not been through any of this together, and he was still thinking this was just a casual, make a couple $100 a month, you know, kind of thing. And to be fair, that's how I was treating it. But I was really excited that I was getting to meet Nancy Joe, and he just very casually was like, what, so she makes like 60 grand? and I looked at him, I was like, I think she makes a little bit more than that. But anyway, I get to the meeting, and I share this with Nancy Joe. And I was like, yeah, my husband thought that you made like 60 grand a year, or 60 grand, and she doesn't even bat an eye. And she said, well, tell him yes. I made 63 last month, and 62 the month before. Okay then. I went home and I told my husband, and he's like, you need to get on the phone.
Whatever, you don't have to have this image, you know? You can be just the regular, every person that you want to be with this business, and just be yourself.
Just
And
be
I really like that, because, you know, that's one thing I really like about you, Nancy. You're very real. I mean, you know, you make a great income and you're an inspiring lady, but you're also very down to earth and real. And I think that's valuable, because you can relate to a lot of different kind of people, and I think that's a value of this business. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity, you know? And I think that's a gift, because when you can teach yourself and your kids to relate to all different kind of people, that is truly a gift.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of new consultants in the room, what would be your one tip that you would share with new consultants? I know a lot of times people tend to meet somebody and then they recruit them right away and they haven't really reached out to their director and that sort of thing. What would be the tip that you would suggest new consultants do to get that new consultant off to a strong start?
I would suggest going to their grand opening. I think the grand opening is key. Again, something I didn't believe in or do for years and years and years. I can't believe where I'd be today if I would have done that from the beginning, because we can talk about bookings and recruiting unlike they can, okay? And we can let their friends and family know if they get a great strong start with this group in the room, if you can find it in your heart to host a show, or at least pass a catalog at work, at the very least. Judy will have a great business, off and running, and at your shows I want you to invite people that she's never met before. Because two things are going to happen. You're going to have a great show, and Judy's not going to be knocking on your door 2 months from now saying, can you help me have another show? Because as soon as she gets out of her family and friends, she won't need to come back. It was 7 years before I came back to my family, and they said, aren't you ever going to ask us to have a show again? And I said, hopefully never.
They're the hardest to do.
This was the hardest ever. Every one of these people in this room diapered me, okay? And they didn't believe a word I was saying, and they knew more than I did, and blah, 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 blah. And you know, and it was funny, I'll never forget Bernice. Okay, Bernice is gone now, but Bernice was like, I could get an Echo vegetable peeler at the supermarket for 69 cents. Why would I spend $3.50 on yours? And I said, it really is better, Bernice. I want you to buy it. If you don't like it, you can return it. I'll give you your money back. You know, you can buy with confidence because of our guarantee. And I thought for sure that I'd get a call back a week after she got her products. And I did get a call back, but she ordered 6 of them for her daughters and son-in-law. So this is the best, and boy, you were right, and you know, and she was a customer from then on. But sometimes we need to build confidence in people, and that's our job. Yes.
And I think the other thing that I think for new consultants is you've got to get them connected to the group.
Yeah, you're right, Nancy.
You know, because especially now, there's so many people that aren't connected with each other or through a screen. And I really feel that those relationships, when you get into your meeting and they meet other people of like mind, or they're looking up to somebody, you know, sometimes they're like kids, you know, they don't listen to mom all the time, they'll listen to somebody else.
And I tell them that the meetings are mandatory.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I do. I says, you know what, if you're going to be in business, you need to be trained every month. You need to get to the meetings. It's only in an emergency. You have permission to not be there. I says, you know, these meetings are free. Other companies, you have to pay for their meetings. So I says, please honor your director and your co-consultants by being there. Because the sales meeting may need you, or you may need the sales meeting. Depends on the month you're having.
With the host coaching as a new consultant, what would you say would be the most important thing with the host coaching that I need to make sure that I cover?
Attendance is the most important thing in this economy, because some people may not have money to purchase anything. They may just need a night out with friends. And if there's only 4 or 5 people in the room, everyone's going to feel like they need to buy. Okay? When there's 18 or 20, no one's going to miss an order, you know, by someone not ordering. And a perfect example of that is Marie Friday. Didn't have the money to go to a show. And she said, I can't come. I don't have any money, extra money to buy. We're trying to scrape up enough money for a car payment. She's saying this to her friends, and a friend is saying, I have 27 people, Marie, sit in the back of the room, no one's going to notice you. And I passed the batter bowl with the vegetable peeler and a long carrot, you know, and I just remember when we did that.
Yeah.
The old pass around.
Yeah.
We sold a lot of vegetable peelers. And she said everything that came around, because I used to pass a lot of products at that time. I still do pass products. If it's not hands-on, I pass it. And she said, I just wanted everything. I just wanted everything. And she came up. She waited until the last order. She came up to me and she said, I really can't order anything tonight, but I think I'd like to start a business. Because at that time I said, you can make $15 an hour. Now, she was a social worker with a master's degree with 3 children under the age of 4 and needed a new car that could handle 3 car seats in the back. And they didn't have a car that could do that. So she needed to find a way, and she was thinking about going back to work full-time for this car payment. And instead, she worked 2 nights a week and was able to not only make the car payment, but her story is great. Jim, I'll never forget when he did a panel one time. He did this with a piece of paper, and all this paper came down, and he started listing all of the things that Marie's business has changed their lives in. And it was awesome. It is, because you know what? Nothing is like concrete to a business like income. Income is concrete. You'll never walk away if you're making a good paycheck. So what you need to do is build to that point. Stop making excuses. Work your business a little bit every day.